Maxims of Master Shan. When we preach the Dharma to those who see only the ego's illusory world, we preach in vain. We might as well preach to the dead. How foolish are they who turn away from what is real and true and lasting, and instead pursue the fleeting shapes of the physical world, shapes that are mere reflections in the ego's mirror. Not caring to peer beneath the surfaces, deluded beings are content to snatch at images. They think that the material world's ever-flowing energy can be modified into permanent forms, that they can name and value these forms, and then, like great lords, exert dominion over them. Material things are like dead things, and the ego cannot vivify them. As the great lord is by his very identity attached to his kingdom, the ego, when it attaches itself to material objects, presides over a realm of the dead. The Dharma is for the living. The permanent cannot abide in the ephemeral. True and lasting joy can't be found in the ego's world of changing illusion. No one can drink the water of a mirage. There are those who, claiming enlightenment, insist that they understand the non-substantial nature of reality. Boasting that the disease of materialism cannot infect them, they try to prove their immunity by carefully shunning all earthly enjoyments. But they too are in the dark. Neither are they correct who dedicate themselves to exposing the fraud of every sensory object they encounter. True, perceptions of material objects give rise to wild desire in the heart. True, once it is understood how essentially worthless such apparent objects are, wild desires are reduced to timid thoughts. But we may not limit our spiritual practice to the discipline of dispelling illusion. There is more to the Dharma than understanding the nature of reality. What is the best way to sever our attachment to material things? First, we need a good sharp sword, a sword of discrimination, one that cuts through appearance to expose the real. We begin by making a point of noticing how quickly we become dissatisfied with material things, and how soon our sensory pleasures also fade into discontent. With persistent awareness, we sharpen and hone this sword. Before long, we find that we seldom have to use it. We cut down all old desires and new ones don't dare to bother us. True Dharma seekers who live in the world use their daily activity as a polishing tool. Outwardly, they may appear to be very busy, like flint striking steel, making sparks everywhere. But inwardly they silently grow. For although they may be working very hard, they are working for the sake of the work and not for the profits it will bring them. Unattached to the results of their labour, they transcend the frenetic to reach the way's essential tranquillity. Doesn't a rough and tumbling stream also sparkle like striking flints, while it polishes into smoothness every stone in its path? In the ego's world of illusion, all things are in flux, but continuous change is constant chaos. When the ego sees itself as the centre of so much swirling activity, it cannot experience cosmic harmony. For example, what the ego considers to be a devastating hurricane is, as far as the universe is concerned, a perfectly natural event, a link in the endless chain of cause and effect. The universe, having no ego, continues its existence without rendering judgments about hurricanes or ocean breezes. When we are empty of ego, we too can carry on in a calm acceptance of life's varying events. When we cease making prejudicial distinctions, gentle or harsh, beautiful or ugly, good or bad, a peaceful stillness will permeate our mind. If there is no ego, there is no agitation. Our mind and body are by nature pure, but we sully them with sinful thoughts and deeds. In order to restore ourselves to our original purity, we need only to clean away the accumulated dirt. But how do we proceed with the cleansing process? Do we put a barrier between us and the occasions of our bad habits? Do we remove ourselves from the places of temptation? No. We cannot claim victory by avoiding the battle. The enemy is not our surroundings, it is in ourself. We have to confront ourselves and try to understand our human weakness. We have to take an honest look at ourselves, at our relationships and our possessions, and ask what all our self-indulgence has gotten us. Has it brought us happiness? Surely not. If we are ruthlessly honest, we'll have to admit that it was our own foolish egotism that soiled us. This admission is painful to make. Well, if we want to melt ice, we have to apply heat. The hotter the fire, the quicker the ice melts. And so it is with wisdom. The more intense our scrutiny, the quicker we will attain wisdom. When we grow large in wisdom, we dwarf our old egotistical self. The contest is then over. There are times when we act with unshakable faith in the Dharma, even though we don't understand the situation we are in. There are other times when we understand our situation, but are afraid to be completely faithful. In one instance we have heart, and in the other we have mind. We must put these two together, understanding and faith. With one small fulcrum, a lever can move tons of weight. With one greedy thought, years of integrity can be corrupted. A greedy thought is the seed of fear and confusion. It will grow wildly. The material gain that a greedy act brings is a small gain indeed. To act without greed and lose some material benefit is also, therefore, a small loss. But to lose one's integrity, that is an immense loss. The enlightened person stands in awe of the fulcrum. What do people strive for? Money, or fame, or successful relationships, or the Dharma? Well, one man may become very rich, but be hated by his family. Another man may be loved by everyone, but not have a penny to his name. Still a third man may be hailed as a hero by his countrymen, and then find himself with neither funds nor loving family. Usually, so much effort is put into achieving one goal, that the other goals cannot be attained. But what about the man who strives to attain the Dharma? If he succeeds, he has gained in that one goal far more than the other three combined. He who has Dharma lacks nothing. Put a fish on land, and he will remember the ocean until he dies. Put a bird in a cage, yet he will not forget the sky. Each remains homesick for his true home, the place where his nature has decreed that he should be. Man is born in a state of innocence. His original nature is love and grace and purity. Yet he emigrates so casually, without even a thought of his old home. Is this not sadder than the fishes and the birds? Those who pursue money are always rushed, always busy with urgent matters. Those who pursue the Dharma go slow and easy. Boring, you say? Maybe. Maybe it's downright dreary to stop and smell a flower or listen to a bird. Maybe a glint of gold is really more dazzling than the sight of one's original face. Maybe what we need is a better definition of treasure. The heart's weather should always be clear, always sunny and calm. The only time the weather could turn bad is when clouds of lust and attachment form. These always bring storms of worry and confusion. A single speck in the eye blurs good vision. We see double or triple images. A single dirty thought confounds a rational mind. Many errors in judgment can arise from it. Remove that speck and see clearly. Remove that dirty thought and think clearly. Great accomplishments are composed of minute details. Those who succeed in attaining the whole have attended carefully to each tiny part. Those who fail have ignored or taken too lightly what they deem to be insignificant. The enlightened person overlooks nothing. Why are certain material objects so treasured? A gem is virtually useless, and a gilded scabbard is no better than a plain one. Man decides that gold is valuable because it is rare and enduring and brilliant. He then thinks that if he possesses gold, he himself will become rare or unique, and that his individual worth will endure, and that he will also be considered a rather brilliant fellow. So obsessed he may become with these foolish notions, that in trying to obtain gold, he will destroy the very life he is trying to embellish. In the darkness of delusion, the unenlightened believe that they can glorify themselves by reflecting the qualities they have assigned to their possessions. Those who live the enlightened life readily discern that the qualities of an object are not transferred to its possessor. A heap of treasures piled in their path will not obstruct their vision. They can see right through them. Gold in the pocket is not gold in the character. Look at people who keep tigers as pets. Even while they're laughing and playing with them, in the back of their minds they're afraid their pet will suddenly turn on them. They never forget how dangerous tigers are. But what about people who lust after possessions, indulging themselves with one acquisition after another? They remain completely unaware of any danger. Yet the tiger can only eat a man's flesh, while greed can devour his soul.